Hello everyone, this is Czuls here, and instead of doing a commentary or a jungle commentary like I usually do, I'm going to be doing a little bit of like a commentary walkthrough, or just a general talk about player behavior, tilting, how to turn games around, and ways to really like push your advantage when you have momentum swinging your way, and how they can really affect team fights and the League of Legends as a game itself. So this is actually a replay. I played this game like I don't know about a week ago. It was a ranked game, so everybody's kind of feeling the pressure of ranked, if you will. And so the game, I'll play it here shortly, but the game starts off a little rough, and you won't be able to see it at all because All Replay doesn't record chat, but there's a little bit of back and forth bickering between some people on our teammates, or some people on our team. So I'm going to play it up, and I'm going to go through a couple things. I'm not really going to be following myself around in the jungle. It's just going to be a general commentary, I guess, if you will, and then I'll go over some things that went wrong and how to come back from them, etc., etc. Alright, so we're just going to start off the game. I'm jungling Lee Sin. The opposing jungler is Xin Zhao. The bottom lane is Sona and Ezreal, and then they have a mid Karthus. We have a top lane Riven. They have a top lane Singed, and then we have a Nunu K lane. So Nunu K's really strong right now. It's might potentially get nerfed pretty soon here once Nunu ends up getting his nerf to his Blood Boil, which will really hurt the lane. So starting off, nothing too interesting going on here. I'm gonna turn off the fog view for their entire team because as I play the game, obviously I can't see where they are. So
30 seconds until
we wanna be able to see things how I would see them through my eyes. For now, I mean, I'll toggle it on and off later. So everybody starts off with fairly standard items or variants of it now. Consumables are kind of a big thing lately, so a lot of people just straight up get like 9 pots, 2 wards, as you can see Riven's doing. Singed got potion, or actually you just got cloth armor, a vision ward, and a pot.
Minions have spawned.
So right away I'm going to start off with the raids. Really standard, nothing too fancy. Some things are going down.
Meaningless without skill.
Evelyn's just patrolling. She's not really helping much on my leash, but thankfully Evelyn's lending a helping hand and helping me out. So I take a little bit of damage right away, but it's no big deal. Nunu is taking a little bit of harass bottom lane. Nothing too crazy. Goes on more Tri-Rush, it's really good. And then I go on to red buff. Get red buff on level 2. Riven proceeds to go to her lane. Xin Zhao actually ends up getting really low here, and obviously I didn't know that. So either he didn't get a good leash, or he doesn't have the right rune page or setup that he would like. So he ends up actually going back here, which is something that'll play a key role very shortly. So bottom lane, just farming up. They're taking a little bit of harass, or harassing each other. So far it's just this Sona lane's gonna out-sustain the Nunu Caitlyn lane, so they can kind of afford to take a little bit more poke than our Nunu Caitlyn. So I go on to blue buff. Now a key thing to point out here is as Lee Sin, I don't need to worry about having smite up. I don't have it up for another 18 seconds yet. So Sona ends up getting really low here, and so does Ezreal. Like sub 100 health. So he starts chugging his potions, and I come down bottom lane. Now, I know I probably won't be able to do anything here, but with Xin Zhao, I didn't know that he went back. So if he did the same, same sweep I did, he would be in the red buff, or he'd be doing double goals right now. So I'm trying to stand here for a counter gank. Now what ends up happening is something that's kind of interesting. I go invade his jungle here, and he's actually doing red buff right there. So I third on E Swarm, and then I just might steal the red, and now I have a level advantage on him. So my jungler, the jungler is ahead for our team, which is myself, and the jungler is behind. He lost experience on a buff, and he's a level behind me. Unfortunately, Karthus somehow ended up getting an advantage on Evelyn here, so he's now a level up on her, and she's really low, and she's taking a lot of harass. So I come in, try to gank here. I land my Q and force a flash. So that's really good. Everything's starting off great. We're only down 100 gold. Nobody has kills. Nobody got first blood. Top lane is also a level behind, unfortunately, or maybe won't have since they just leveled up. So Evelyn should feel okay in this situation now. The flash is down. She kind of got some of her lane back. As long as she doesn't take too many way wastes, she should be fine. Bottom lane is trading back and forth, getting really risky, but they're both roughly at about the same health, give or take. But once again, Sona will all heal. And they also have a little bit of a level advantage too. They're about, I'd say maybe about half a level ahead of the other opposing bot laners. So far, nothing too crazy going on here. Evelyn starts to roam a little bit, and we end up going in for a gank here. So I safeguard Evelyn, pop my E, land my E, she ignites, follow up, land Q. We get first blood, but we end up trading kills. So it's not too bad because we got first blood gold, and then we got assist gold. So we're okay with that. It's nothing ventured, nothing gained. If anything, we'd be just a little bit ahead. We know that Xin Zhao just went back. Top lane starting to push towards Riven. Their bottom lane ended up staying, while our bottom lane ended up coming back. Now they have a little bit of an item advantage here. They have Ezreal just got a longsword. Keelan now has a flame scepter, so that's really huge. So they start getting fairly aggressive here and trying to press their advantage, which is generally a really good thing to do. When you have an item advantage, and you know they might be about even in levels now, pretty close since they went back, you want to push this advantage. And if the other team doesn't realize this, they can end up taking advantage, or you can end up losing the advantage. So as you see, they traded kills there, and Karthus ends up ulting, doing damage to Nunu, and actually ends up killing Riven top. So what happened there is Xin Zhao actually went for a gank, and we counter ganked. This was unfortunate timing on our part, because Singe was starting, Singe can be really scary, he can pretty much be unstoppable, and the counter gank was actually really good. Xin Zhao ended up waiting in this brush, and we didn't even get a kill out of it. And worst of all, we fed Karthus a kill. So he's sitting here farming mid lane now. Evelyn's roaming bottom. She's level 5. Karthus level 6, as you just saw with his ultimate, and he's just free farming. And now he's starting to take my radiance. So it's starting to get he's starting to get quite an advantage. If we look at the CS count, he has 47 to her 24. That is huge. Right now the scores are 3-2. They have 3 kills, we have 2, and they're about 600 gold. So it's not a huge deficit, but feeding Karthus kills, and we start to feel a little bit of pressure. Like, alright, we gotta stop him because we can't let this go on. It's 2-1 now, and Evelyn's actually just now getting like destroyed mid lane. She came back to lane. She got a few late wastes. She got the wall of pain, and she just melted. She can no longer trade with Karthus by any means. Karthus will just straight up kill her. So, and this is all the, the 740 mark here. So this is getting kind of scary. Everyone's got to start roaming, making plays when and if she can. So bottom lanes continue to farm out. Nothing too crazy. They're both the same level now. I'd say our side is okay. So now they're level. Actually, Ezreal's got a level max. She's level 6. Nunu's really low. He's got to heal up and be cautious. Ezreal missed, thankfully. Otherwise, he would have got pretty close to killing Nunu there. So they're just chugging their potions. Top lane's dueling. And now Evelyn does a good thing here. She roams out. She didn't really push the lane though. The lane's just kind of sitting there, and this Karthus to free farm. Evelyn is doing a really good job though with roaming bottom, since she can pretty much avoid all the green wards. She misses her ult, but she falls up really nicely and ends up killing some big knight there. Ezreal unfortunately gets a kill on Evelyn, and Caitlyn gets a kill on Ezreal. So that was fine. It was a 2 for 1. Ezreal got the kill, unfortunately, and Caitlyn also got a kill. Bottom lane here, or top lane here, Riven's just doing trading. Bottom lane's going back. I'm continuing to farm. I held the wave there, so Karthus wouldn't take any, wouldn't push the turret too much and do some free damage to the turret. So we don't want the turret to go down. So Riven decides to get aggressive there. She gets a stun. She gets the wing slash, but then she gets killed by the poison. Singe did a really good job. He flipped her in the turret range. She took turret angle before the creep wave got there, and ended up killing her. It's a really close call, but when you have 1v1 battles and you lose like that, you start to get demoralized, and you're like, alright, well, that was really close, but before you know it, that'll happen again. And you will be able to win your lane, or you'll get close. So as we saw there, Xin Zhao came in for a little bit of a gank, and they just killed Ezreal, or they just killed Evelyn now. She hasn't bought any wards. I was ordered, and then I was gonna help her do blue buff when she died, so I just took the experience there and did blue buff. There's a point in the break here where Nunu took a bunch of free damage, and we actually don't trade any kills. They get a double kill. Sona got the kill, which was good, but you never want to give them a free double kill. It's 8 to 4 now. They have double our kills. They're up like 2k gold, and right now Nunu and Caitlyn start bickering back and forth. Caitlyn didn't want to fight this. She was like, Nunu, what are you doing? And Nunu channeled his ultimate, but before he got to channel his ultimate, he took a ton of free damage, and Caitlyn wasn't there to follow up. So bottom lane is a little bit more susceptible to, you know, they don't have as much of communication. So I throw down a ward here. Evelyn pressures Xin Zhao, and I'm just kind of standing here. I think Karthus saw me because he put the wall, so he must have been very close. And then I'm just keeping pressuring Xin Zhao. The reason for this was just so we know where he is on the map. Karthus obviously went back, so I'm warding up deep into the jungle. So this area is a really nice area to ward, so I can tell when red buff's up or when he's doing raids. So a good thing happens here is I end up stealing his big wraith. Evelyn comes roaming. She has it fairly pushed now, so that's good. And we end up coming down for gank. Now Xin Zhao walks over that word that I just put. Ezreal ends up getting caught here. The ultimate is blocked, Caitlyn's ultimate, but we get a double kill. So this goes really well for us. We had 4 people down bottom. We swung bottom, took the advantage, and we're feeling really good. We're like, alright, here we go. Karthus is mid, he's pushing. Yeah, that's fine. Let's just get dragon and do our thing. So I'm typing in the team. I'm like, alright, let's just do dragon. Let's do it quick. We don't know what Karthus is. Xin Zhao's over here. And I kind of get a little split. I miss my Q on the Xin Zhao. And Nunu just gets blown up right away from Karthus. So he's instantly have a fight. Xin Zhao ends up jumping right on the Caitlyn, and right when Nunu died, I wanted to just leave right away. So I flash over the wall and I escape, but Evelyn gets a little crazy top and she ends up going like top, and then she ends up swinging back around and makes a little mistake. And all while this happens, Karthus has his ult. I don't go back like she's trying to. I don't recall.
Blue team double kill.
And I die. And all while this is happening, Riven's dead. Or Singe is just pushing super hard. So right now it's 13 to 6. They have double RKLs +1. We are 3k gold behind roughly. Give or take a couple hundred gold there. And we're kind of feeling a little demoralized right now. It's only 13 minutes into the game. It's quite a bit to be down. And Karthus is 7-1. We're Karthus can just blow up somebody like Nunu really quick. I mean, Nunu's not really tanky right now per se, but he can just chunk somebody down right away, and he's a big threat. He's got 125, 126 CS to Evan's 45 CS, so we really can't stop him. Even if we kind of blow him up quickly in team fights, if we don't avoid his area effect damage, we'll take a lot of damage. So again, his ability just to chase down Evelyn like this is just absurd. Evelyn can't lane anymore. She, as the character, I guess, is getting rather frustrated at this point and can't do anything. Come back to lane, take a couple layaways, get down to like third health, and then just repeat. I mean, that just can't happen. So, but at the same time, I can't babysit that lane because, you know, other lanes are losing. Singed is just free farming top now. Riven ends up kind of roaming around, trying to make a gank, trying to make some plays, and they're unsuccessful, so now they just wasted a whole bunch of time. Evelyn's level 8, Karthus is level 12. He's got 4 levels on our mid laner. Riven is level 9, Singed is level 11. So it's 2 levels top and 4 levels mid. And I'm the same level as my mid jungler. Generally, junglers kind of fall off a little bit compared to the mid, and especially the mid laner. There's a certain point where you have a level advantage early, and then later you lose that level advantage, and they get a level advantage on you. So Singed was roaming around here. He could not catch me, and I don't think he would have been able to kill me very easily without help. But now he has a whole topside jungle to run around, and I'm starting to feel really like I can't even farm in my own jungle. So it's a little, you know, I have to be cautious. Everything I do could have a consequence. So as you know, I put a very defensive ward here for blue buff. In the meantime, mid turret goes down, one of the most important turrets at this stage of the game. 15 minutes in. So I go in, I try to smash through my blue buff back. I get some ulted in the face, and then I end up having to kick Xin Zhao away. Meanwhile, they collapse on us very well here. Sona almost dies, and Xin Zhao dives turret. I know I'm gonna die, so I Q Xin Zhao to do the most damage. Riven comes around and kills Karthus, which is just huge, and then she follows up and kills Ezreal. I got the kill for Xin Zhao, because he took a bunch of turret damage. Sona's really low, she has to go back. So we lost 2 people in that trade, but we got 3. We got 2 big carries too. We got Karthus, and we got Ezreal. Meanwhile, Singed is doing a good thing for his team. He's farming, he's feeling really confident. He's even just taking the turret for free. So their team right now is really on the momentum swing. They're like, alright, we got this game. Let's just push it home, let's take turrets, let's get that extra gold, let's start, you know, putting some offensive wards. And then Nunu does this. He ended up, you know, like I said before, they were kind of arguing and bickering, and he ended up taking a little bit of the turret aggro because the minions weren't there. So this minion dies, tanks turret, 1 more shot, and then, you know, it's like, what? This Nunu, you know, you can imagine. Caitlyn was a little upset. It's like a, you know, there was no reason to die there. Thankfully, it was only to the turret, but you still don't want to die. So they got the turret now. Bottom lane can roam a little bit. The positive thing to look for right now with this game, at least what I was looking at, is Caitlyn actually has a bit of CS over Ezreal. She's only got 1 kill, Ezreal's got 3, but it's 135, 4-2. Caitlyn has 30 CS more, close to 40. So that's really good. That's the one lane that is actually like doing really well to push the advantage. Generally as a jungler, if one lane loses really hard, just let that lane lose and try to snowball one of the other lanes. Let that lane just get really fed, and maybe they can help carry. So Karthus gets a little overeager here, and I try to kick him with a turret. Unfortunately, he doesn't take any damage. He flashes over the wall, puts a wall of pain down and slows me, so I started treating. Evelyn and Riven are doing a great job moving here, and blow up Karthus right away. Karthus is now 8-3. Unfortunately, Xin Zhao flashes and kills Riven. Meanwhile, Caitlyn killed Sona with the help of Nunu, and now we have Xin Zhao picked. So they got over aggressive here. They pushed their advantage too much, and I don't think they had any ward control. So we were able, they had one ward here and one here, but they didn't have any wards in this area at all, which resulted in 3 of them dying. Karthus died again, Xin Zhao died. Karthus, if you remember, was 7-1, now he's 8-3, so watch that score towards the end of the game. At one point he was 7-1. Evelyn tries to defend top, and she realizes that she can't kill Singed, and he just chases her, and Riven comes and saves the day and lands the stun. So once a lane gets really, really fed, the person starts to feel really confident, and oftentimes they will feel too confident where they're just like, I just want to get the kill, and you can't touch me, and then that happens. They dive, he dove way into here, and then all the way down here, taking a whole bunch of free damage, and we got the kill for it. Now, generally, if you're that player, and you have that extra, you know, you're feeling really confident, it doesn't hurt to still be safe. Like, push your advantage more and more. There's no need to go way behind a turret just to kill Evelyn. I mean, sure, she got a little lucky that Riven came and saved her, but that's how the throw started. Now the other team, you can imagine, is kind of like, Singe, what are you doing, man? Like, you're way over here, you're behind the inhibitor. Why are you trying to? That one kill's not worth it. So we're gonna take this to our advantage now. It's 16-13. They had double our kills at one point in this game. Right now, we have a little bit of a communication issue. We tell everybody to retreat. Riven and I are going to get top. Xin Zhao's the only one up there, so we're trying to get this turret down the best we can. So in the flashes, get some damage, and then the Karthus ult comes and kills her. Meanwhile, we're trying to retreat. We didn't get the turret. We weren't successful at all. And I went this way and I walked over a ward. I tripped a ward, so I get flashed really, really quick. And then I eat a slow, and flash, and then I land a Q to a minion, jump to that minion, and Riven does a great thing here and lets me safeguard to it. And then even stun Singed, so he can't get to me and finish me off. Ezreal hits me, just barely, but does not kill me. So we actually had a surrender vote event because we didn't feel confident at all. Our surrender vote was purple 1-4. So if you look at it from a mentality perspective, one person on the team just wants it to be over with. We don't even, that person doesn't even care anymore. It might as well be 45 and like, you know, how much somebody's actually just kind of throwing. So in this fight right here, I realized that Caitlyn needs to stay alive the entire time, and nobody else is really peeling for it. So while I kick Singed, I try to kick him into everybody else so I can keep Caitlyn alive. Nobody is focusing Caitlyn at all. Nobody is even able to get to her. Ezreal tries, and it's unsuccessful. So we ended up getting a double kill on Caitlyn now. She's got very good attack speed. She's got Infinity Edge now, Berserker Greaves, and Vam Scepter. She is the one that's going to carry this game, and I realize this. Evelyn sure isn't, because she's just going to have to try to catch somebody really squishy and blow them up. She's got 79 CS to Karthus is 190. That once 7-1 Karthus is now 9-4. So Evelyn is playing really, really risky, high risk, high reward kind of thing, and she ends up finding Xin Zhao. This is very, very key in this game. This is a big turning point. Ezreal is right there, was getting help with the red buff, and is unable to kill Evelyn. He just runs away. Now, if I was at Xin Zhao on the team, I'd be a little frustrated, right? Like, who wouldn't be? Evelyn got away with, you know, probably like 200 health, and Ezreal had, you know, pretty much near full health. There's no reason she should have got away. And for her to be that far into the jungle and pick up a kill is just insane. So we realize that she realizes at this point that she's just gonna have to assassinate one person, find them completely alone like that, and kill them and blow them up right away. She won't really be all that useful in the team fight. She can just get killed right away. Karthus will like two-shot her. And it starts getting to that point in the game where, you know, we have an inhibitor down. It's 23 minutes. Pretty soon they're going to start thinking about doing Baron. So they're putting really aggressive wards all in our jungle. They got this warded here, this warded here, this here. They don't have anything on the lower side. So this is actually a really good thing to do when you have an advantage like this, is to really put offensive or aggressive wards deep into the opposing jungle, especially if you're planning on doing an objective like Baron. So right now with all these wards, if they wanted to do Baron, I mean, we have this one ward here, but they can see every possible path that we would come from. We can come from here, they would probably see it unless we have a minion wave pushed. So we start throwing pings down, top lane's pushed again, mid lane's gonna keep pushing super minions, and Karthus ends up flanking there. The Nunu and Sona all cancel each other out, and Karthus ult comes down, does quite a bit of damage to everybody. Ezreal ult hits 2 of us. Riven gets flipped, Riven dies. Riven and Nunu are dead, but Caitlyn's still alive. So I shield her. She ends up killing Ezreal. Evelyn escapes. I kick Singe after I hit him with my Q, and then follow up, and then shield to Caitlyn. Now while Singe isn't the best priority target, it also set Caitlyn up for a perfect kill, so she ended up getting a triple kill out of that after she couldn't, after Karthus couldn't get to her. So that worked really well. Caitlyn now is 7-4-6. She has a decent amount of kills now. She has 3k gold that she hasn't bought yet, so she can pretty much go back and just buy Bloodthirster right now if she wanted to. But right now we have to worry about, well, this inhibitor is now down. Well, they kind of lost the team fight. They got hit. They got 2 turrets. They got this turret, this one, and our inhibitor. So they're still feeling confident. They're like, all right, we got 2 turrets. We got 2 inhibitors. Or we got the 2 base turrets. We got inhibitors. Generally, when people you get to that stage in a solo queue game, it's like the game is pretty much over. As you can see, they're taking objectives. They're gaining. They're pushing their advantage. They are up 4 kills. They're up like 6k gold. They have really offensive wards. Karthus, that was once 7-1, is now 10-5. So he's still pretty positive. He's got 216 CS now compared to 97. So right now I'm communicating to the team. All right, all I'm gonna do is peel for Caitlyn. If we keep Caitlyn alive, we have a better chance to win this. I'm not going to try to go after Ezreal. I'm not going to try to blow anybody up right away. Caitlyn needs to live. So with that in mind, we're throwing down pings everywhere. Their team has no vision of where we are except for right here. And they do a rather risky play here. They choose to do Baron. Now if you look at the situation, our team was just about timing perfectly to show up. Nunu goes in ahead of the group a little bit. He lands his ultimate. Evelyn's off to the side waiting for Ezreal or Sona to blow up either one of these right away. Perfect, just like an assassin should. I'm waiting over the wall to attempt to steal Baron, which is at 3,114 health. Rice and Kimchi, their jungler, Xin Zhao, is level 13, and I'm level 14. So my Smite will do 880, while his will do 850. That just about 30 extra damage there. Bottom lane is super minions pushed, but we pushed out our middle lane first. That got pushed out, so it's only right here. Whereas if we had super creeps right here while we were doing all this, there's a chance we could lose inhibitor again, but we'd have Baron. So at least this is pushed out. We have about another wave, 2 waves before bottom gets pushed up in this area. So we're set up pretty decent for this fight. We put ourselves in that advantage, and we're going to take advantage of it shortly. So I'm going to slow it down to 0.5 speed. New ult gets cancelled. I throw my Q, hit it on the Baron. I get the smite steal. Sonya uses her ult only on Evelyn, and Evelyn blows up Ezreal anyway. which is huge. Nunu's still alive. Caitlyn is hitting everybody. Nobody's jumped on Caitlyn at all. Nobody even got close. So I end up getting ignited by Singed, I believe, there. His ignite's down. Caitlyn and Riven are able to chase Sona, and boom. We ace their team. We get Baron, and there's 3 of us still alive. Super creeps aren't too far away. Like, they're right in the middle of the lane here. We have a bit of time to get back to them. We have a bit of time to get back to this one. Top lane's not at our turret yet. Perfect. Everything's starting to happen. Everything's starting to come together as a team. The super creeps are only here, so everybody goes back to buys. Now, the big key moment there was Baron got stolen, and nobody focused Caitlyn. Nobody's focusing Caitlyn at all this team fight, and they need to do that. They need to try to get to Caitlyn. Especially when Nunu comes in, and he ults super early, and he's ahead of the team, and their team doesn't take advantage of that at all. Sona wasted her ult on just Evelyn there to try to keep Ezreal alive, and Ezreal died anyway. So Evelyn is doing her job, and instead of getting their AD carry right away, and that is really turning the tide. Their team, you know, if they can't count on their AD carry to come through and carry late game, you know, they start to be like, alright, well, yes, I gotta do all the work, you know, and if they can't do all the work, then they start to get really frustrated. And everybody at this point is starting to point fingers on the other team. I'm sure they're still feeling a little confident, but, you know, that was just a big loss. They lost a team fight, they lost Baron, and we still had quite a few people alive. So it's 25-24. They are up 1 kill. They're up 1K, 1.7K now. Not nearly as much as like the 3K or 4K or whatever it was before. So we understand that even though we have Baron, 3 members, we still don't have much of our base left. This inhibitor's still down, this one just respawned. And the only reason we won that fight is because they took a lot of Baron damage and got all the debuffs from Baron. And we realize this. We still have to play defensive. We still have to put defensive wards. We put wards here, wards here. These are key wards. Really good places to put them because then we can see when the team's about to shift to cover different areas and swing and try to take a different turret or push an inhibitor right away. It's a very good ward placement here. Top lane ends up getting pushed in again. At this point in the game, all of our teammates are feeling like, oh my god, top lane again. Top lane's been pushed in again. So everyone goes and covers it, and we have to be careful not to engage because it's 4v5. Their team realizes this. Evelyn is going to have a little bit of a harder time throwing somebody up here unless they're way in here because there's a lot more area. This is a choke point. So Karthus flashes. I get Sona ulted along with Riven and Nude, and Karthus blows up right away. Unfortunately, Ezreal ends up killing Evelyn. Karthus ult comes, but Caitlyn is still alive. That's my main goal as a sim right now. Keep her alive, keep her alive, keep her alive. Sin's gonna get to her. She killed Karthus right away. Zinzao tries to jump to her. I shield her, land my E, slow him down, kick, and pull up Zinzao right away. Right now, Riven's getting really aggressive, and Caitlyn is just keeps going to town. Keeps going to town. Keeps attacking. Her crits are doing like, yeah, as you saw right there, 1,200 some damage. She is hurting, and if they don't get to her and stop her, it's only going to get worse. She has Infinity Edge, Static Shiv, Last Whisper, Berserk Greaves, and a Vamp Scepter. So she's getting red buff like she should. Late game, you want to get your red rune, red buff to your AD carry once you get decent enough items. Kite, giving that little extra damage. Generally a good thing to do. No need to put it on somebody that's melee that might not be able to use it anyway. So, a very important thing happens right here. If you notice, surrender vote failed for the blue team. At one point, they had 2 inhibitors down, and we only have 1 turret down. We have the bottom turret. They still have their top and mid outer turret. We don't have an inhibitor. We don't have 2 of our base turrets are down. We have only 1 inhibitor up. And here they were surrender voting. 1 person on the team no longer wants to play this game. They have no confidence in the rest of their teammates. This is huge. As you recall earlier, we were surrendering when they were besieging down, when our mid turret was just going down. We had a surrender vote, and that failed 1 for 4. Now they want to surrender, and they had such an advantage early, and still have an advantage, had an advantage. One person doesn't want to play that game on their team now. Meanwhile, we haven't surrender voted since that one surrender vote. We still think we have a chance, and rightfully so. 31 minutes in the game, it's 27-27. We are actually up gold now. They have 7 turrets on us, and we are up 300 gold. Their team is just letting us farm all these minions. That's what's happening here. We are farming, and they're just kind of not really doing anything with this super minion wave. They got turrets when they should, but since then they're just kind of, they're scared to fight us right now. They've lost like 2 or 3 team fights pretty handily, and we still had quite a few people left. So they take Zinzao, and their team takes Dragon. Evelyn's roaming around, and at this point in the game, we're really worried that she'll end up getting caught. Like, if somebody's running around with an Oracle, she can just straight up die. Like, they'll just see her and blow her out. They'll collapse on her, and that's it. It's all of a sudden 4v5. It's that late in the game where timers start to make a very, very big difference. And look at how deep she is. She's way behind enemy lines right now. They're sieging here. They're pushing. They're trying to push their advantage. They're trying to take an open inhibitor, like you should be doing. They have top pushed in again. Karthus is helping push the creeps in mid. And we're kind of split. We're running around. We're not really sure what to do. Caitlyn throws her ultimate to kind of ward them off. Evelyn is being really sneaky though, and she is right behind. So they start backing off. They don't want to fight, and boom. Evelyn goes unprotected, goes up Ezreal. Right as this happens, our team realizes, alright, now's the chance. Ezreal's out of the fight. Let's get there. The safeguard to Evelyn, land the Q, ult, and kill Karthus, blow him up. Evelyn lives. Singed was not with his team that time, and that's why we were able to turn that so quickly. He got a turret out of it, and he's going to start doing some damage onto our inhibitor, but nobody on our team died, and we got Ezreal and Karthus. Karthus is now 10-8, Ezreal 6-7, Caitlyn's 11-4, I'm 5-3, Nune's 1-7, and Rivenant's 5. So we finally get our mid turret down, and we retreat. Never, ever stay longer than you need to. Get what you came for, and leave. There's no need ever to try to siege down this turret. All of them are up. Karthus would have been up soon, and we could have easily got trapped and given them free kills. So we do a really risky thing here that I see a lot of people winning games for, especially in solo queue. You do Baron when you know that their whole team's up, and you know that they're doing Baron. Like, they know that we're doing it. So I want to go back, but we get a really good catch actually on a Singed of all people. Nunu flashes ults, and I end up following up. I realize that they're going to fight, and I have to do something about it because I can't stop them. So I end up taking a bit of damage. Caitlyn's untouched this entire time. Riven and I are taking the front lines. Evelyn's really low. She cleanses. Sona does a nice ult after the cleanse, so she's unable to cleanse that. Riven comes around and flanks, and ends up killing Zinzao, I think. And then they end up killing Sona. So that team fight went really well for us. A great thing that went really well for our team is nobody stayed in the Baron pit. We aggroed Baron when we were starting Baron, and nobody like stayed in the pit. If you stay in the pit while a team fight is happening outside of the pit, you're taking free damage from Baron. You're getting all of his debuffs on you, and you're taking the opponent's damage. Never ever do that. And that was one thing that went really well for us in that team fight, is we aggroed it, and then we all retreated and stopped attacking. Once we realized that their team was coming this way and we needed to peel off of them, we needed to peel off of Baron and onto them. We did that successfully. So that went really well for us, and we ended up winning that fight. If we would have stayed into the Baron pit, we probably would have taken a bunch of free damage and died. And the game probably could have been lost right there. So, I got a Guardian Angel. Caitlyn's got a Banshee's Veil now. She's had one kind of for a while. She's got an upgrade on her boots. Gets a little extra movement speed. And then... yeah, so pings are going down all over the map. We have a bunch of wards on Baron now. It looks like they wanted to do it. Evelyn's roaming, playing really assassin-like. She's doing a good job at it though. She has made some really key plays. She's blown up Ezreal, she's blown up Xin Zhao, and someone has an Oracles. So whenever somebody gets an Oracles on the opposing team, you know that they want to force an objective. They want to force an objective control. So with that Oracles, we know that they want to do Baron. So they're clearing out of the Baron boards like they should. And Singe gets a little over ear and takes about half of his health free damage. Sona only lands her ult on Evelyn. Evelyn ends up chasing Ezreal, and nobody can get to Caitlyn. Again, that's annoying. Xin Zhao tries, can't do it. Caitlyn's still alive. I'm still alive. Caitlyn ended up getting, I believe, a double kill. Evelyn ended up blowing up Ezreal again. Sona only uses her ult for Evelyn every time, and Evelyn has always been successful in killing Ezreal, which is absolutely huge. If Sona would have their ult in the entire team, it would turn team fights around like crazy. Another great thing to do when you're playing any game, our minion wave was way back here. No need to do that. If your minion wave is way back here, like, and it's this late in the game, I have 2,800 health, but I have 219 armor. I have a shield. Riven has a shield. Just tank turret, get it down. Caitlyn will blow it up quickly. There's no need to wait for that minion wave. Oftentimes, people will wait for the minion wave, and then by that time, I don't know, like 5 seconds has passed, and then a couple people will spawn, and they'll overstay their welcome, and they'll just turn the fight and end up killing you, and then the momentum will completely shift. As we can see here, Evelyn is also split pushing bottom lane. She's taking the bottom turret. This wasn't a very good thing, very wise choices, because we had minions pushing in on their turret. So this is essentially a free turret right now. We can do this fast enough, and she knows that. So let's apply pressure in other areas. We all know that we won't be able to get here and end the game right away. So let's get that extra goal. Let's apply more pressure. Bottom lane is much more important to destroy and get rid of and have pushed in once Baron is up, because the travel distance from here to here is across the map. It's a really long ways. So that is a really good choice on her part, and will make a difference here pretty shortly actually. So we're pushing down the inhibitor. Our team shifted. We are now up 7 kills. We are now up like 5 and some 100 gold, or 5k and some 100 gold. Evelyn took a turret. We're still pinging for her to get back because we know that they're going to be coming right away. As you can see, their pings are going down on Baron. They know that we're doing it. We don't have a ping board here, and I really didn't want to do Baron. I was not okay with that since they were all up, and there was only 3 of us here. Evelyn went back, Nunu wasn't really in the place, and we didn't have a pink ward. We didn't have any vision. We don't know if they have vision on it or not. And they do now, but they didn't. But even yet at this point in the game, there was kind of that speculation of, you know, they're doing Baron. So Nunu runs ahead of the team again, lands his ult. It doesn't really affect too much of the team fight. And Evelyn runs right in and blows up Ezreal right away. Caitlyn finishes the kill off, and now instantly, because they were unable to stop Evelyn, it's completely changed the force of the game. Nobody can get to Caitlyn. Evelyn has succeeded in blowing up Ezreal almost every time she's tried, and their team's just falling apart. They doesn't want to surrender now. So, well, at least one person on their team does every time. So we realize that Singed is just being a distraction. They don't want to chase him anyway. So, generally when that happens, if there's a person on that team that wants to just, you know, run around and try to distract you, don't follow that person. Keep pushing your advantage. So again, another good example is I just tank the turret because the minion wave's way back here yet. It's a pretty big minion wave, and then I just safeguard and boom, turret's down. And even yet, I didn't take all that much damage. I also have GA, which is still up. Caitlyn's now 15-4. Karthus is 11-10 from that 7 earlier. So, a really risky thing happens here is we continue to fight. Massive pings go down for us to retreat. I kind of wanted to fight this, but you shouldn't ever, because as you can see, Karthus was right there. Their whole team was pretty much right there ready to kill us. I often see that in games where people will end up throwing games like that. They'll like sit outside of the turret and they'll overstay their welcome, and then all of a sudden two very important people die and the game's over. They just rush down the middle. Remember, we don't have any turrets here. They can just have Singed tank, just like I did, just like Riven did, and win the game. So we did a very good thing here. Knowing when to leave and back off will often like save you games. Not knowing will often throw games. When you don't know when to retreat and, you know, get too greedy, if you get too greedy, that's how games are thrown. We saw Singed do it earlier. He ran up through here to try to kill Evelyn, and it didn't work. He was getting greedy. He just wanted that one kill. We saw them, we saw them do that several times. They came over here, and we ended up getting like 2 kills. Karthus and Xin Zhao died, and like only one of us died, and they didn't have proper wards in this area at all. They had a ward here and here, but this is where the fight took place. And without any vision of that, they don't know when to retreat, they don't know how many of us are going to be there or not, and boom, 3 kills. So we start warding up Baron. Nunu places a pink ward, a little off, I think he was aiming for that bush, but they have vision of it now. They know where we are, they know we're doing it, but we also know that they are way out of position. So we see some pings going along this way, and miscommunication, and we get Baron before they even get there. Sin just wanted to go and try to make the and steal it, and gets blown up right away for it. So lines are all across everybody this time, but by this time let's do it. Singed is down, and nobody's dead yet on our team, and we just push our advantage. So Ezreal tries to run around a back door. Miscommunication in League of Legends will mess up games, will completely shut down games. So I'll face tank turret, just like I described before. Minion wave, there's no point in waiting for it, especially this late in the game. Just win the game, just tank it. Look at how much health it's got. Like, so much health left. Have shields, everything. Alright, so we ended up winning that game. It was quite a comeback. If we look at the gold now, it was almost 12k gold. We're up kills by 12 now, when we were down by like half. At one point it was like 6-13, and then we're up. They had a miscommunication issue. We saw some pings go down at Baron, when we were doing Baron, and then we saw some pings go down at the inhibitor. Some people, it seemed like, wanted to rush. When Baron is up, always to your best ability keep that warded. That is a big thing to take away, and always try to be in position. Basically, what happened there that ended that last team fight and ultimately won us that game, won us for that final push, is they came in single file. Singed was ahead of everybody. Ezreal was back here. He wasn't doing damage for like more than half the fight. Singed got blown up right away. Sona landed her ult across everybody, that was fine. Nunu also landed his and slowed quite a bit of people, but they single file lined up and just came in, and we just killed them off one by one. The big thing about their team though is nobody got to Caitlyn at all this entire game. Caitlyn went untouched. I realized I had to peel for her. I did peeling to the best way that I could this game. She ended up going 15-4. She had a little bit of a rough start. She was like 1-3, and she ended up 15-4. I ended up going 8-3. That Karthus that was 7-1 is now 11-10. Sure, as Karthus, it's fine to die because if you're passive, you can just keep spamming your late waste, and if people sit in your AoE, then it's free damage for those extra seconds. So I mean, dying as Karthus isn't all that bad, but considering at one point he was 7-1, and for him to come out even really makes him look like, okay, now I just had an okay game, whereas before 7-1 looks like an excellent game. You were carrying the game completely. Some key moments that happened in this game real quick before I make this video too long. A big turnaround was when Evelyn assassinated Xin Zhao here, and Ezreal was unable to get that kill. I believe at this point in the game, their team didn't really feel safe even in their own jungle, even though it was just, it was really, really close. Ezreal was probably, like, alright, I'm gonna go back. Xin Zhao died, and then they kind of probably got a little upset with each other that Evelyn was just able to walk away free and get that free kill when Ezreal had full health. It even retreated after that too. I don't know why he was afraid of her, but there was a bit of a miscommunication there. I'm not sure. When Evelyn blew up Ezreal here, that was huge. Right after that happened, we were able to close down on Karthus and kill Karthus. I think that was like a 2-for-0 exchange. And then, of course, the big turnaround was the Baron fight / Baron steal. We all came in. Nunu ulted ahead of everybody, and they did not even touch Caitlyn at all. She was standing here, attacking, and nobody could get to her. They have decent, gap closers on their team. Singe can just kind of run around and, throw his goop and try to flip her into the fight. It'll be a little bit harder, but Xin Zhao, I mean, he is a decent gap closer too with his E ability, and he was unable ever to get to her. So that Baron steal there really turned the tide in the game, and we swung that advantage. So whenever you are feeling behind and that you can't win the game, look for little moments in the game where people end up throwing and turning that advantage into your favor, because momentum shifts are huge in this game. After that event happened, shortly after they tried to surrender, people wanted to throw in the towel already, and they were up kills. There's no reason to ever try to give up so easily, especially when they had 2 inhibitors on us at one point in the game. So, that's it for this little recap of this game about, I guess, player mentality, tilting, how to turn stuff in your favor, throwing, I guess, all keywords, I guess, that are commonly used. And hopefully you learned something from this, or hopefully at least it was interesting to watch. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions or any of that stuff, just feel free to leave them below.